Hi friends, it's Miss Melissa. It's Monday and I'm so excited to be with you again this morning. You might notice that I'm wearing a different kind of shirt than I would usually wear, right? Well, this is my art shirt. When I was a little girl and I went to school, the teachers would always ask us to bring in an old shirt, a big shirt. It wasn't my shirt. It was like a shirt from my mom or my dad that they didn't wear anymore. And I would bring a shirt to school and I would put it on and I would button it up, and sometimes I would even wear it backwards, but it would be to cover my clothes so that I didn't get any paint on me or anything that I was doing in art. So isn't that kind of cool? That's what they did when I was little. And you can still do that now. Sometimes it's good to have an art shirt, a shirt that maybe somebody in your family doesn't wear anymore, because it covers everything. See, if I stood up, you'd even see that this shirt goes way down and even covers my pants. And what I love about this shirt too is it makes me feel like an artist because it's got all different colors. It's got lines on the sleeves right here. It's got all these cool little squares and they're all different colors. It has designs on it. I don't know if you can see, but all these squiggly designs all over the shirt. And it's in here, the round buttons, and it's all these different shapes. So that's what I love about this shirt. It inspires me to do art, and then I don't get anything on me while I'm doing art. And then I can take it off, throw it in the washing machine, it's all clean again, and even if it got really dirty, that wouldn't matter because then people could tell I was an artist. So if you have an old shirt, or your parent or somebody, even your grandparents or somebody you know has an old shirt that you can wear, use it as your art shirt. That's a good thing to do. So before we start our art today, I have a book with me that is going to inspire us for our art. And this book is called The Dot. And the author is Peter H. Reynolds. I love this book. And I'm going to read it to you now. And you can see there's a little girl here. And she's painting on the cover. And this says The Dot. And I love this writing. This is called cursive writing. I don't know if you've heard of it, but isn't it cool, cursive writing? It's really nice. It's got all kinds of lines and the letters connect to each other. I love that. And so it looks artistic. So I am going to start reading you The Dot. Ooh, love this color, yellow. I open to this page and it says The Dot again by Peter H. Reynolds. And look, the dot is the O. Isn't that cool? That's very artistic. I can tell an artist wrote this book. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Isn't that a beautiful name? I love that, Vashti. Her paper was empty. Oh boy, she's turned around and doesn't look too happy to me. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm, she said. Very funny, said Vashti. I just can't draw. So her paper's all white, so her teacher's naming white things. That's why she said that, a polar bear in a snowstorm. That's kind of funny. All right, let's see what happens. Her teacher smiled. Just make a mark and see where it takes you. Vashti grabbed a marker and gave the paper a good, strong jab. There. Just looks like she just took the marker and just went bang, like that. I think she's a little bit angry. And you know what? Don't need to be angry when you're doing art. Art is fun, but she's angry right now. Let's see what happens. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper toward Vashti and quietly said, now sign it. So there's Vashti's dot, and her teacher wants her to put her name on it. Vashti thought for a moment. Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name. So there she goes, she's putting her name on it. The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot. She had drawn her dot, all framed in swirly gold. Look at that. That was art to her teacher, and I love that. She put it in a frame, her dot with her name. Huh. I can make a better dot than that. So now she's thinking. Now Vashti's thinking. She opened her never before used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted a red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot, and I see her dots are getting bigger. The blue mixed with the yellow, she discovered that she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. And now she's got dots all over that page. Look at that. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. So now she's got a bigger piece of paper and she's making a really big dot. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. Look at that. She made it all around to make a blank circle in between. Love this. She's getting very creative. This is my favorite page, by the way. My favorite page in the whole book. At the school art show, a few weeks later, Vashti's many dots made quite a splash. So they had an art show, and look, she drew all of these dots. She made all of these and had her own art show, and they hung them up, and look, everyone's looking at them. All the different kinds of dots. There just wasn't one dot. She decided a way to make all different kinds of dots. I love this page because Vashti did something. Just that one dot turned into something so much bigger than she thought. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She's not angry anymore. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. So he doesn't even think, Vashti didn't think she could draw anything, and she made a dot. Now this boy is just going to draw a line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle. So he made a squiggle. And then she said, "Please sign it." And that's the end of the story. And I think the reason she wanted him to sign it is because that line that he drew was art. And I bet the boy was going to get inspired to draw lots of different kinds of lines. Now, I like this last page too. There's a lot of information about the book on here. But one thing I love is that the author, usually authors do this, authors are the people who wrote the book. He said, dedicated, that means this is, I dedicate this book, means that this is for a certain person. He dedicated this book to Mr. Matson, my 7th grade math teacher, who dared me to make my mark. I love that. He talks about his teacher, and it was his math teacher. And math teachers deserve a lot of credit. Math teachers do hard work. I couldn't be a math teacher, but math teachers are awesome. And his teacher dared him to make his mark, which means when someone tells you to make your mark, it means that they want you to make a difference in the world. They want you to do something special that only you can do. And because his 7th grade math teacher said that, Look what Peter H. Reynolds did. He wrote a book for children that was published that's helping children to learn that they can draw and make their mark too. So, you know what? You have a mark to make. I just want to tell you that today. Wherever you are, you have a mark to make. You are here for a reason. So, we are getting ready to do our art. So, I've got all my art supplies here, and I decided I wanted to do something with the dot, since the dot kind of inspired me. Now, I could just take a marker like this, and I could, like Vashti, just go down and bang it, which would be a fun thing to do. In fact, just for a second, I'm gonna do that. So I could go down and just go dot, up, there's my dot. That's the first thing that Vashti ever did. But you know, I was thinking about that, and if I wanted to, I could take markers and just start kind of going all over my paper, just like this. And then I could maybe, and look, see, I'm already making a different kind of art right there. Like I could get another color marker and I could just start making dots all over this paper, just like this. And, oh, I wonder how many dots you could get on a piece of paper if you went to do that, and what it would look like. If you decide to do your dots like this today, I would love to see a picture of it, post it below. Now, I'm gonna flip my paper over, and you might notice I have a piece of cardboard down here. That's because I wanna keep my table clean. If you're doing art today, maybe you want to have somebody in your family put something down on your table so you don't get your art all over the table. That's what we do. But anyway, I thought, you know what? I wanna make a bigger dot. So I went and got something round out of my pantry, and I got my popcorn jar. I hope that if you're home this week, you make some popcorn. That is such a fun thing to do, to make popcorn in a popcorn maker or even in a pot. Maybe your parents can show you how to do it where you shake the pot, but that's not what we're talking about today. That's a whole other fun thing we could do. But anyway, I needed something round because I decided I want to trace something round, and this is round at the bottom. So I'm going to take a pen, but you could use a marker or whatever you want, and I'm going to trace around the bottom of this jar, just like this, to make a circle, okay? And then I'm gonna pick it up, and there's my circle. And you know what? That's like that's a big dot, isn't it? And so this is what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna cut. Now, I've got my grown-up scissors. You might have, I know you should have kids' scissors in your house. And so I'm gonna cut out my dot because I just thought this would be a cool way to make a dot today. So I'm cutting. And you know what? If you aren't great at cutting, do you know how you get better at cutting? You practice. So maybe some of my friends watching me today are awesome at cutting. If you're not, you practice. If your circle doesn't come out perfect, that is totally okay, because the only way you learn how to cut is to practice. So you're watching me do this fast. So now I've got my dot. Now on the one side, look, it kind of has dots on the dot. That's kind of cool, right? But I've got my dot, and I'm gonna put it down here. And Vashti was using some paint. So I got some paint out. I have lots of different colors of paint in my house. You might have paint like this. You might have watercolor paints like Vashti had, or you might not have paint at all, and that's okay, because you can decorate this dot any way that you want. So I encourage you today to cut out some circles. Find some things that are round, trace them, cut them out, and make some circles like this. And I'm gonna use paint on mine, but you could use markers, crayons. There could be lots of things that you could use. And I decided to paint mine. Now, I could use a paintbrush, but I like to use other things as paintbrushes. So I decided I'm gonna use a fork today as a paintbrush. And pretty soon, you are going to be seeing some videos from a teacher friend of mine, Miss Amy. She is awesome. And Miss Amy was the one who taught me to use a fork to paint. She taught me, this wasn't my idea. And so I'm gonna kind of swirl my fork around in my paint, like just like this. And I'm gonna use it as a paintbrush. And I'm gonna drag it kind of like this, ooh, across my dot. Just, ooh, that's kind of neat, right? How it looks. Maybe I could try other, ooh, if I do my fork like this, it makes different kinds of marks. Look at that. Oh, okay, and then I'm gonna try, you know what? I'm not even gonna rinse my fork off. You could if you want to. If you don't like to mix colors, you could have water here and you could kind of change it, but I'm gonna put it inside this yellow paint because I heard that in the book that Vashti said that yellow and blue make green. I think I'm gonna test that. And I'm gonna kind of start, I'm just gonna go like this and rub it like this. Ooh, I do see it kind of turning green. And now I'm gonna hit my fork again all over my dot. See, now if I go off my dot, see how if there's something underneath here, paint doesn't get on my table, it gets on my piece of cardboard. Ooh, that's kind of cool. And maybe I'll get a little more blue again, and now I'll just use like the tips of the fork as my paintbrush. And I'll kind of go all around, making kind of like Vashti first did. She just kind of slammed it down. You get the idea, right? And so I'm gonna hold it up now. There is just one dot that I made really quickly. It kind of reminds me of, reminds me a little bit of the ocean, a little bit. I always like to think about what my art might look like. Now, you know what? I just thought of something. I have this piece of cardboard down here. Watch this. This is another way. So you might just take this and this will be your dot. You can make your dot, but I just thought, oh, you know what? I'll flip this over and I'll press it onto my cardboard with the paint. Even though this is what was supposed to be protecting my table. And I lift it up. And I have a whole other kind of dot right there. Right? So already I just have two kinds of dots that I could put in an art show. Wouldn't that be neat? So if you don't have paint today, you could also use crayons, you could use markers to do your dots, you could use pens or pencils. There are all kinds of things that you could put on your dot to decorate it. In fact, you could even take paper and rip it and put it on your dot. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you all the ways because when you're an artist, you have to think creatively, and everybody is able to think creatively. Everybody can. I know this for sure. And so you create a dot, and I would love to see your dot. And you know what? If adults are watching this, and some have, make a dot today if you have some free time. It's super relaxing, I promise you. Just sometimes Miss Melissa does kid activities. Not everything for kids is for kids, it's for adults too. So maybe someone in your family wants to do this with you today. And you just make a dot and post it below. I would love to see your dot and what you did. You might not even use paper to make your dot. Maybe you want to cut something out of cardboard. Like I said, you be creative. And I'm just gonna keep pressing this on here while I finish this today. I cannot wait to see your dot. And you know, maybe you even want to have an art show. That would be really cool somewhere in your house. All the art that you make today, just like Vashti did in the book, you could have an art show in your house. A way that I do that is I just take a piece of string with clothespins and I hang all my art on the clothespins. Or maybe you have a place where you put all your art. So if you make a whole art show, of course I would love to see that too, but if you just make a dot today, I would love to see it. All right, friends, I'm gonna keep pressing this out. I promise I'm gonna take a picture of this and post it below so you can see what my artwork turns out to be like, and make sure, if you have a chance, sign it. Just like Vashti did, put your name on it. All right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic day creating dots, just using dots. I've had a good time with you today. Wear your art shirt. Don't worry if you get paint on it, and have fun. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.